In honor of the upcoming election and women's rights being on the ballot this year, we're going to talk about things that women have not been allowed to do until certain shocking dates and when those became legal for us to do. I think the first one is because we are business owners and we are women. We own our businesses outright.
That's true.
It's how women were not able to own a business on their own until 1988.
Shocking. There were women who owned businesses, but in order to do so in all 50 states, remember, this is all 50 states. So you may say, well, I live in, I don't know, Missouri or whatever, and they could do it much earlier.
Yes.
But
that's why like some of these dates are very shocking because like even we were allowed to do some of these things prior to these dates, but when it was last allowed in all of those states. So
women allowed to own a business.
Without a man.
No mans. Women, we're not anti-man. We just think we should be able to own our own business.
We should be able to do what we want.
Yes.
And we do what we want.
Women were not allowed to attend college until 1847, which sounds like a long time ago until you realize that Harvard was founded in 1636.
That's 200 plus years. That's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah.
Did you know that women were not allowed to keep their own wages until 1900, which it does sound like a long time ago. But how long were they able to work before that? What happened to their paychecks?
What happened to their money?
Yes. Where did they go? Into their man's bank account?
Yes.
Or pocket or little money bag. Is that what they carried around? In all the old movies?
I need one of those money bags. I mean, the big one, though, that the guy from the Monopoly thing holds.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yes.
Women could not have a bank account to put those wages in until 1974.
That's crazy. 74 years that they could make money, but they didn't have anywhere they could put them and keep them safe, tucked away for themselves.
In their own bank account, without a co-person, a joint account
owner that's a man.
That could withdraw the money. Yeah.
Now, this is super relevant to the election, right? Women did not get the right to vote until 1920. That's when the country, the United States, ratified it. They only needed, I think, 36 states to ratify it or something like that. Don't quote me on that. But this is super shocking. The state of Mississippi was the last holdout to officially ratify it. Women could vote in Mississippi prior to the state. They just didn't make it official until 1984. 1984. That's a day late and a dollar short.
And what was their excuse, Kelly?
Oh, it just was not a priority. There were other things that they were more concerned about dealing with in the Senate.
I have a problem with this. How is there anything more important than women's right to vote decided by politicians?
Well, all male politicians. It was male dominated. There were no women in that, body of Senate that they were.
I have a problem with this. I have a problem with this.
I agree.
Women could not serve in the military under standard or reserve status until 1948.
Interesting. That's after World War II.
Yes.
I mean, that's interesting. Yeah. I think the combat one, serving in combat, is much later. It's like 2013.
Oh, yeah.
Also, don't quote me on that, but I think I read that today.
Yeah, I feel like that was later, and also, which might be the same thing, the fighter pilot thing.
Maybe, yeah. Here's another one for you. Unmarried women could not access birth control until 1972. So if you were unmarried and you did not
some people had their way, women still could not access birth control, but that's another story.
Of any kind, right? Well, now, currently, we can walk into a Publix or a CVS and you can buy it over the counter.
Yes.
You do not need a prescription.
That is true. Women could not serve on federal juries until 1973. Can
you imagine if there was a woman that was being tried
by a jury of her peers?
And it's all men. All men. Until 1973. Interesting.
That's right. Very interesting.
As realtors, I find this one super interesting. Yeah. Because we do have a lot of female single women clients.
A lot of women.
They're dominating. Women could own a home in 1968, but they would have to purchase it with cash because they were not able to get a mortgage until 1974, or apparently a bank account. Yes. So they just had to have mattress money, I guess.
Mattress money. You were bringing your bags of your Monopoly money in the bag, like the little Monopoly.
Show me your proof of funds here. Yeah.
That's what you were doing, yep. Women could not get a credit card on their own until 1974. And as Kelly likes to say.
Oh my gosh. It's a good thing. I have so many.
I don't have that many anymore.
I have a lot that I don't use.
They slowly creep up on me because they do like the 0%.
Yeah.
Like you can buy your new range or your new washer and dryer with 0% interest, but it's not like they give you a credit card. So I shouldn't even say, I'm not going to say what I do with the credit cards. They are not easily accessible is what I will say.
Yes.
They send me these credit cards and I'm like, I don't want them. I pay them off while there's 0% interest.
We have a holding spot for the ones that we don't carry every day.
Yes.
For sure.
You can't cancel them because it hurts your credit.
I like the ones with the points for the things.
Yes.
You know?
I love the points. The points are good.
Yeah.
Free travel.
Here's one that's interesting. No fault divorce, which means that you don't need the consent of both parties. So like if I'm a woman and I'm unhappy with my husband, I would not need his consent in all 50 states to get a divorce until 2010, y'all. 2010. That's crazy to me.
Otherwise, you're just stuck.
Do you know, though, what's even more shocking than that year is which state was the last holdout on that?
Oh, yeah.
It was the state of New York. I'm shocked. Like, we thought that New York is more progressive. I don't
understand that, yeah.
Well, that's because you could still get a divorce, but there was that whole, like, you have to be separated for a year or 2 years, and there's a state that was even 3 years.
Yeah.
And then there's that whole, like, covenant marriage thing. Have you read about that?
No, that sounds like one of those
religious-y things. Well, it's not all religions, but
I can't even speak. The words could not come out of my mouth.
But you have to like get spiritual counseling, religious counseling in order to even obtain a divorce.
Now?
If you're in a covenant marriage, only those types of marriages. And there's only certain states that recognize that type of marriage. And you have to agree to enter into that type.
Does anyone see what's happening to my face here? I'm like, what?
It's giving very Secret Lives of that show on Hulu now. I don't know. That's what it sounds like to me.
This is very odd.
It is odd.
I'm finding this strange. Yeah. Okay. Covenant marriage. Is that back to like the hand fasting where they like back in the olden times where they just wrapped you with like you stuck your hand out and they wrapped you with some sort of
I don't know
cloth?
I don't think that's
hello, you're married.
I don't know if it's that, but it is a very religious type of orientation around that type of marriage. It's not just like, let's go get a marriage license at the courthouse and have the justice of the peace do the thing. Or
have
it's not
Elvis
like that.
Marry you.
Yeah.
There's no Elvis marrying you for a covenant marriage.
No, definitely not.
Unless he's coming back from the dead.
Oh my gosh. Well, he might. For that kind of marriage, covenants, It's a different kind of resurrection.
Okay. The state of Idaho, we got to move on here. The state of Idaho was the last to pass a law that it would exempt women from indecent exposure and obscenity charges for breastfeeding in public in 2018.
2018. That's like just 6 years ago.
You are not allowed to feed your baby.
In public.
Before 2018, at least in Idaho.
In Idaho. Did you ever fly over Idaho while nursing
Carolyn
a
was
child?
busy flying all over the country doing that in the airplane. So I'm thinking, did I ever fly? Could I have been arrested? Ma'am, you're under arrest. I could get off the plane, would land.
Homeland Security's there waiting for you.
Would come onto the plane, take me into custody.
Oh, my God. That's just wild to me.
Come on.
Women's rights are going to be on the ballot in Florida here in November. And so we encourage all of you to go out and vote, do your research, make sure you understand what those amendments mean before you check a box. Please do your research.
Register to vote, register to vote, register to vote, and then go out and vote. And most places have either vote by mail or you can early vote.
Yes.
You can early vote. Like my daughter goes to college out of area, so I told her you either have to do a mail vote or you can drive in, and on one of the times that's early voting, it's very easy if you've never early voted.
It is, yeah.
Please do
I've done it all the ways.
Yes.
On the day, early, by mail.
Some people like the presidential election, they like the whole like pomp
and circumstance.
Pomp and circumstance of going to the polls on the day, but yeah.
Sometimes when you've done 100 episodes like we've done today, our words get a little trippy.
100 episodes.
It's our 100th episode. It's been, now 2 solid years of just keeping at it.
Yeah.
So
social beaches.
Girl power.
Yeah. So subscribe. We'll see y'all later. Right?
Yeah. Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers. Bye.